What I do is an Insta Live almost every day where I bring in a new warrior in the studio, in this virtual studio in the times of lockdown. And like you can
No
see,
light.
I have someone with me already here. I have Cassandra Nazareth. We fondly call her Cassie. Hi, Cassie. How are you?
I'm fine, Almas. Thank you.
So we managed to get this technology piece sorted. We were struggling with it a little bit. This is the second time I had to go live. But, I'm glad we're all learning and exploring so much more in this time of crisis. So, hi to you, Cassie, and hi to everyone that's joining us here. This is, as difficult this phase is, it is also an exciting time for us to kind of explore a lot within ourselves and also to understand how life really can change in an instant, right, Cassie? We were doing so much and suddenly life changed.
It
So
just went topsy-turvy.
it just went topsy-turvy, right? So for those people that are just joining in, I just want to sort of, have a little introduction here. This show is called Corona Warriors, and it's about celebrating human spirit. There are a lot of people that have decided to really show up as real warriors, sitting at home, doing the things that, would really add value to people's lives. There are people struggling out there for basic necessities. Essentials is an issue. And there are some people that said, we need to stand up and do something. And amongst those is somebody that I really admire, somebody I met at a program called She Creates Change. And it is nice to see Cassie wearing the t-shirt, in fact. So that's Cassandra Nazareth on the Insta Live for us. Okay, so Cassandra, a little bit introduction for Cassandra. For anyone that knows anything about the RA movement would definitely know Cassandra Nazareth. She is somebody that has been heavily involved with helping the Adivasis and the tribals in various spaces of their lives for a long time. Cassandra is also somebody that is going to be featured in my upcoming book that I'm
Oh my
co-authoring
gosh.
with Yes, so she's been doing a lot of work with the tribals of RA. So today we're going to talk about the work that she's been doing during this lockdown situation. Yeah. So as the world kind of is grappling with this situation, Cassandra has been doing some relief work. So Cassandra, first, if you'd like to tell us about the Nazareth Foundation and the work that you do, and then we'll move into understanding what you've been doing really during this lockdown period. So over to you, Cassandra. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I have been working with the Wadli community for almost 5 years now. And it's
Can you
only
tell us
one
a
year
little bit
ago.
about the Warli community? Who is the Warli community?
The Wadli community is an ethnic indigenous community, which they are basically forest dwellers. And they live in Mumbai. Yes, you'll wonder where are the forests in Mumbai. But we do have two forested regions in Mumbai, which is one is the RA Mill Colony and the other is the Sanjay Gandhi National Park. So there are,
Right.
yes, so both these are joined actually, and they both have Wadli communities. Sanjay Gandhi has 11 villages right in the interior, which most of the public don't go into. And RA has got 27 proper Adivasi hamlets. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
well, slowly we've got slums encroaching into the thing, but that's a different point of view. But the point is, there are these indigenous, original inhabitants of Mumbai who are still living a life where they live in thatched huts, they live very simple lives, they grow their own vegetables, they grow their own rice, and such a lovely community. I've been working with the women basically, and they're such lovely people, they're so generous. As we go along today in our talk, remind me to tell you about the generosity of the Wadli women that I have encountered as part of my relief COVID work. They are the real COVID warriors, not us who are on Instagram or us who are, let's say, on social media. They are behind the scenes. So remind me to come back to that.
Sure. So far we've kind of established that Cassandra is somebody that's been doing a lot of work with the Warli community. This is primarily in the areas of RA and Sanjay Gandhi National Park. Now, what is the situation with them during this COVID-19 situation?
Uh, they do not have access to shops or kirana dukans like how we have in
Right.
cities. Okay, so they are fairly remote. For instance, Sanjay Gandhi National Park, the community has to walk for minimum 3 kilometers to come just to the main highway gate. So they were the people who were the most affected the moment the lockdown started. Okay.
So there are no
And
grocery shops in RA. They have to walk all the way.
I'm talking of Sanjay Gandhi. Okay, first.
Sanjay Gandhi
Yeah.
National Park. Yeah.
Sanjay Gandhi has got no grocery shops. Nothing. Okay.
Right.
RA, one or two areas do have grocery shops, like the Mayur Nagar area, they do have grocery shops, but not big fancy ones like we have. It'll be like, small kind of shops or whatever, who don't hold too much stock. So Sanjay Gandhi tribals were the first very badly hit people who reached out to me because they had nothing. They had nothing. They are women who take 50 ml of oil in a little plastic packet dangling from their fingers when they're returning home from work and going home. They can't even
So
afford
50 ml is this much? That's
Yeah.
50 ml.
And they put it in a little, it's smaller than my fist. They put it, I mean, it's tied up in a little plastic packet and you see the women going home with that kind of oil. So these are communities who would not have larders or not have stockpiled any kind of food. One is because they don't have the money, they're daily wage people. So these were the people who were affected the most. I got a call from them first saying, ma'am, we have problems, can you help us? Okay, this was early days of COVID. I'm talking of 23rd of March, where I was not even thinking about this. So when I got this call from this Sanjay Gandhi woman saying, we need help, how can you help us? I called my local Kirana Dukan and I said, listen, I need kits she had asked me for 15 emergency kits for people who had nothing. I put together those kits. My Warli people from Sanjay Gandhi came to IC Colony where I live, picked up those kits themselves, went back to Sanjay Gandhi and distributed them to people who desperately needed it. Then I said, then the next day I arranged for 30 more kits, not stepping out of my house, sitting at my desk. Okay. Then I realized, okay, they need help. So I put out an SOS on Twitter. I said, I need help. And I'm lucky I have a very good network of people who immediately started sort of, amplifying what I had put out on Twitter. And people started reaching out to me. Then I have this student who very excitedly WhatsApps me and calls me and says, these people will give you help. I said, Prerna, I don't have the time. You talk to those people. If they are ready to help, then I will talk to them. She brought to the table somebody called Dharma Bharati, okay, who sponsored 100 family kits. For 100 families in Sanjay Gandhi, which we sent. Again, the Warli people came to IC Colony, picked up and took it, And then I realized what I was giving them was very limited because I didn't have funds. As funds started coming in and as sponsors started coming in, we were able to do more and more. By that time, I called up the RA people. I said, how are you all? How is the lockdown affecting you? This was within the first week of the lockdown. They told me, they said, madam, we have got some stuff, don't worry. So I said, okay, I'll help Sanjay Gandhi. They told me, yes, help Sanjay Gandhi people because they need it more than we do at this moment.
And these are the tribals in RA telling you, you know what, we still have enough, go help Sanjay Gandhi.
Yeah, that was the first time I saw the generosity of these women. There's one more story which will come up later. So, as I said, this student then put me in touch with Dharma Bharati, who was very, very sort of generous. And they gave a lot of stuff. They sponsored. They did not give me money. Okay, I work in two ways. You are welcome to either give me the money into the foundation and I buy the stuff and send you the bill, or you're welcome to buy stuff directly and pay my grocer. And I did sort of arrange for distributing the stuff with the Warli community themselves. All my distributions, and today we finished our 90th distribution, okay, has been done by the Warli community themselves. So they are taking charge. I've not stepped out of my house. We are a very, very small team. When you say Nazareth Foundation, we are not a big team. We are only volunteers. There's Blazia, who does all my back-end work. Okay. Then there's Mahesh, who's a CA who helps out in the evenings or whenever he's got time, but he's a staunch volunteer. Both have been with me for more than 3 years. Okay. Then there's been Rajani, who's right now down with vertigo, but she does all my back end of filing and,
Right, right.
write-ups
You were
and
telling
things
me
like
about
that.
it. Yes.
Yeah. And then there's Anirudh, who's a student who helps me with uploading social media, because the pace at which we are working is so quick that we have to sort of do things, filing, otherwise all the pictures and everything would get totally mixed up. Okay.
Right, right.
So there's been a lot of activity, frantic activity, hectic activity. We have raised totally sponsored items we have donated worth 25 lakhs. I'm happy to say. Okay. I
Wow.
did not realize
I
that.
just want to sort of
Glasya.
pause here and applaud. And one of the reasons I brought you on this Insta Live, Cassandra, is to tell people that you don't need to have a foundation with, hundreds
Correct.
of employees. You're
Correct.
somebody that is genuinely doing authentic work with a set of people. Some of them are students, some of them are sitting at home, and you've managed to get these numbers. So let's get these numbers out again. You said 25 lakh worth of stuff given out.
25, 12, 955. Because Blazia, I messaged her. I said, Blazia, give me the figures. I'm going live. Every morning she gives me the figures. I did not know we had crossed this. One day she sends
Right.
me this data. 25, 12,009, 25 lakhs, 12,955 worth of sponsored stuff we have done. Our fund donors have reached 3 lakhs. Okay, we have impacted 8,942 families as of this morning. Today's data has not yet been uploaded. And we have served through us 5,175 cooked meals. Okay, now we
Wow.
are partnering with people. People are reaching out to me today. I had a chef who reached out to me. He said, I want to use my skill. Where can I? I quickly
Wow.
put him in touch with the Khana Chahiye people. I said, here they need hands. Okay. So
Right.
whoever
Right.
comes to me is given work. The
Right.
Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Technology students reached out to me in the beginning
Right.
and they said, oh, ma'am, we'd like to help what you are doing. How can we? So
Right.
we are on a WhatsApp group where we started this thing called remote aid. It's a new concept. Okay.
Yes, and we're going to
Uh,
talk about that, where you
yeah,
don't have to do anything. You're just sitting at home and you're
exactly.
providing remote aid to people. So, what is remote aid?
So when the students reached out to me, none of us could get out. Okay, they were doing their own fundraiser with my name and everything, and I was doing my own fundraiser. We were collaborating on certain things. So then they were getting asks from communities who were so remote that we couldn't go there. How do we go to Nalasupara? How do we go to Naigaon? How do we go to, let's say, Dharavi, Cheetah Camp, where we can't get out of our places, So I told them, I said, fine, tell the beneficiary to go to a local Kirana Dukan. Okay? Let them make a list of the things that they want to. WhatsApp the bill. We would check the bill. We are not giving luxuries. Okay? Basic food items is what we were giving. And we had a cap that we would say that, okay, this is the budget for this much. Depending on how many people were there, how many families, whether they were single people or what. Okay? And my students would check them out. They would bounce things off me as well. I was nudging them, saying, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. Check them out properly. Do they have a ration card? They may be taking things from you twice. I was doing that simultaneously while we were doing Nazit Foundation active work with the Wadli people. So this was another area where, because the students got involved, okay, they have got their own figures. They have raised close to 1.2 lakhs. Okay, they have impacted almost another 3,000 families, independent of
These
the
are
work
the
that we have done.
students.
These are the students, yes. Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Technology. So remote aid, as I said, was possible only because they could micromanage smaller groups, and because they were many more in numbers than my hardly 3.5 or 4 people volunteers that we have in Nazit Foundation. So
Right, right, right.
they have supplemented the work. I was very happy to have them on board because suddenly I got something like 2,500 food kits landed on my head, literally on my head, okay, from Feeding India. I was not expecting it. I was not expecting it. That helped me to reach out to communities other than RA and Sanjay Gandhi. Okay,
Hmm.
because once what I did is first I made sure Sanjay Gandhi was filled. Yeah,
Hmm.
because there was a group called YGPT who
Hmm.
went door to door. Yeah, mind you, during the lockdown period, nobody was being allowed into Sanjay Gandhi. My Warli people got permission for these
Hmm.
volunteers to go door to door, and they distributed hefty kits. This group called YGPT. Yeah, they distributed hefty kits to every household, all the 600 households in Sanjay Gandhi. So the Sanjay Gandhi people had enough stuff. I was concentrating on RA. In the beginning, when I didn't have funds, you know what I did? I would send tempo loads of vegetables, onions, potatoes, brinjals, cabbage, tomatoes, French beans, okay, because those were not very expensive. A
Right.
tempo load of veggies for 100 families, which would last for about a week, cost us what? Less than 12,000 bucks with the tempo and everything. And all this
Lovely.
Mahesh did by remote sitting at our desk. Mahesh, Blazia, and myself networked. I said, Mahesh, I want veggies. He sent one uncle searching in the bazaar to get somebody. He got somebody. That fellow said, okay. Um, so I would tell Mahesh, how much, Blazia would tell me in the morning, we've got so much money. Okay. Uh, then I would tell Mahesh, okay, this is what we are going to be sending to so and so, make the kit. He would WhatsApp the bhaji wala, send me prices, we would zero it on. Next morning, veggies would go to the village and the women would distribute. Then
Hmm.
when Dharma Bharati came, again, they wanted to distribute stuff in RE. They gave me veggies and we did bananas. I've never bought 10,500 bucks worth of bananas in my life.
They all came together at the right time. So, Cassie, these are
Everything.
examples of how everything is just collaborating and it's
Yeah.
kind of growing. The momentum is growing. Cassie, some of us have no idea what really is happening outside. Whatever we watch is in the news. But since people have been on the road and you've been networking, what is the situation with daily wage workers? What's really happening
Um,
with them? What's the
yeah.
situation with families?
Because the Zomato feeding India kits landed in my lap, okay, I could do so much more. I had enough kits to give in RA. And mind you, my RA women told me, don't give us 15 kilos of rice per family, because that's what Zomato gave me. 15 kilos of rice and uh, two and two, five to 4.5 kilos of dal per family. What my Badli women told me, we will divide the kits into three. So it reaches, more people, So then they started telling me, madam, you are sending stuff to us. Next door to us is a village. They have got nothing. They came to ask us for help. Can you reduce the number of kits you are sending us and give them? So
My
this
God,
is
this is an example of real generosity that you've been talking about.
that is what I'm saying. I
Right.
had called them in the afternoon and said, okay, I'm sending you 60 kits for your whole village. Yeah, this is what I'm sending in each kit. She called me in the night and she told me, she said around 8:30, she said, ma'am, these people have come to say they have got nothing to eat. They're next door. They're daily wage workers. They're rickshaw drivers. They're drivers. Okay, they have nothing to eat. So can you reduce 5 of our kits and give them there?
Right.
So
Right.
I spoke to Mahesh and Blazia and I said, what should we do? Mahesh said, give that Yadav Wadi full 22 kits. So we sent
Mm.
Yadav Wadi 22 kits. And mind you, they have observed physical distancing norms. If you look at our posts on Instagram at Tribal Tadka, you will see how beautifully these communities, we call them illiterate, they're not illiterate. Okay? You will see how
Mm.
beautifully they have understood the concept of physical distancing and how they have conducted their distribution.
Mm. But there's
So
definitely a very difficult situation for daily wage workers, like you
it
said,
is.
rickshaw drivers, the people
Yes.
that are, and literally, I mean, where do they get food from? This is a very big problem.
It is a big
But in
problem.
Yeah. So, which has been more challenging for you, the cooked meals or the ration kits? What's the process? Which one's easier?
Uh, both come with their own challenges because cooked meals, you have to make sure that it reaches the beneficiaries before they get spoiled because the heat is on. So I've got
Mm-hmm.
volunteers who are networking, picking up from here, giving here, distributing. Okay. Reaching the communities who are the migrant communities, okay, who are living in far flung areas is a challenge. because transport costs. Mumbai still does get its things, okay, but we have remote communities where nothing is reaching. They are on lockdown. They have got no access to shops. They've got no access to money. They've got no access to money. Okay. Now, through volunteers who I've come in touch with through my work in the last 1 month, who are moving around in these migrant communities, I have been able to send, in fact, my team has been able to send food kits, cooked food to reach these remote communities. Even as we speak, there is a volunteer called Shahid, okay, who is distributing cooked meals to Dharavi. He goes to Govandi. Okay. Yesterday he was at Sion Hospital, and he had also gone to a Dharavi hospital to deliver the cooked meals. So he's actually going into these small things. So like him, there are a lot of COVID warrior stories that I have to tell. And I do hope that one day you would be able to interview not only me, because, okay, my face is at the front, I have a loud voice, but COVID warriors, like even on my team, even on the students' team, who have been spearheading things in their own way. I will send you a list you're free to choose from.
Definitely. You know, the students are such an inspiration. I mean, you said that you've been able to impact so many families just through networking. There's just so much people can do. So there are a lot of people, you know, that have this mindset that if I don't have an NGO or an organization, I can't really do relief work. Is that true? If there's someone sitting at home who has no contacts, how can they contribute to help the crisis?
Reach out to me. Yesterday, I had somebody who was working as a volunteer for Feeding India. She reached out to me. In fact, even Shahid, okay, he reached out to me 2 days ago. He said, "Ma'am, I want to join your team." I woke up one morning and I find this WhatsApp message from him. I said, "But Shahid, I don't pay anybody." You know, he said, "Ma'am, I don't want any," he said, "but I want to work with you." So, I mean, these are people who we've never worked with. Mahesh, Blaze and myself, I've never worked with. But these are people who have seen the pace at which we work and have said, we want to come on board and join your team. So I'm happy. Anyone wants to do anything, reach out to me. I will find something for you to do.
Yes, that's Cassandra Nazareth for you. She's practically everywhere on Instagram, on Facebook. I'm also going to leave a link to her handle, and you'll be able to contact her. Cassie, we're just kind of trying to understand this entire situation of COVID-19 and how people are affected. In the midst of all of this, you know, you're trying to help Worli, there's distribution work happening, and now suddenly you've also reached out to other cities and other locations.
Yes.
So what is the length and breadth of work that you're currently doing?
See, I was very lucky. We had got a windfall in funds some 3 days ago. Okay. So when a friend reached out to me and she said, you know, my aunt runs this school in an unpronounceable name in Tamil Nadu. I can't even pronounce the name of that village. Okay. She said there are 102 families there who are quite remote and they need help. Okay. She had already worked out the cost of the kits and everything. This was yesterday afternoon, I think, when Sujita reached out to me. Okay. Today, as of maybe 6 or 6:15, I transferred the funds to her. Okay. And tomorrow the distribution will happen to those full 102 families. And I could do.
And this is practically in less than 48 hours.
Less than 48 hours sitting at my desk. What did I do? Right. When Sujita reached out to me, I pulled Kunal from the RGIT team. I said, Kunal, make a WhatsApp group. Blazia, you, me, Kunal. I said, if you want to add one of the students, you add. Okay, and add Sujita. We added Sujita's aunt who's typing in Tamil and none of us can understand Tamil. But the work got done. Wow. The work got done. Wow. Work got done. Wow. Okay, because I told Kunal, okay, I'm busy. Yeah, but I said, this is what I need. Like, I've already put into place a system of what is needed before we help anybody to check the bona fides and everything. Right. So since that was already in place, each one knew exactly what they had to ask for, what they had to do. And I could concentrate on selling a large tempo load of fish which came to IC.
Yeah, you told me about it. Yeah, Cassandra also fish. Well, this is not about that, but she's got some contacts where she's been able to source some fish, which is also helping people.
This is helping the Kohli community. It came straight from Uran.
Right. So there's also a Koli community. There are a lot of communities that don't have enough
Need help.
work today. This is the situation. So Cassandra is very, from what you can hear in the midst of our jokes, is that Cassandra is very well connected. And what she's done is she's been able to put an ecosystem in place, and now the network is kind of organically expanding, and we're able to do more and more work. It's just about intention, right? If you have the right intention, then a lot of things fall in place. So now, the situation of the lockdown is going to increase, Cassie. It doesn't look
Yeah.
like, we don't know if it's going to really stop, what's going to happen. So what is the next plan for you? How do you intend to support more people going forward?
See, quite honestly, food kits are reaching people at the moment because a lot of people have stepped up. Yeah. Plus, the government PDS department has also started. They started doing things. Yeah. It took the government a full 1 month before their food grains could actually start filtering out slowly to ration shops. In the meantime, it's small-time NGOs like me or small-time people like me with a will to do things who have managed to step in and sort of give people what they want. So there is a huge humanitarian crisis which is unfolding. If you notice,
Right.
my thing says COVID lockdown food project. This is going to carry on way after the lockdown is lifted. Why? Because the impact is going to be there. It's going to continue. If we middle class people are impacted because of the economic slowdown, can you imagine people who don't have a livelihood, who don't have a bank balance? What is going to happen to them? How are they going to buy
Absolutely.
stuff?
Absolutely. The other day there was this rickshaw driver that reached out to me, and he said that so far we were getting everything on udhar. There's a
Correct.
lot of credit that's happening now. The kirana walas are also not willing to give any more credit to
Yeah.
them. So clearly, it's a spiral effect. It's that's going to snowball into more things. So definitely, this project is not something that is restricted to the lockdown. It's going to continue for you.
It is going to continue for me and it will evolve. It will evolve because, let's say, right now, what I have concentrated on doing is sending food grains and food to communities because, especially in RA, as I said, in Sanjay Gandhi, and even some of the more affected migrant communities in Mumbai. Because the moment they go into a red zone, how do we help them? How do we help them? You have to have somebody with a police
Right.
pass. You have to have somebody who got clearance. You know, uh, people from behind the red curtain, so to say, reached out to us, said, "We are starving. We've got nothing to do. I mean,
Oh
we've
my
got
God.
nothing to
So
eat."
just imagine, so there are people that don't have food to eat. They're at least were able to get out. Now there is a red zone, and because of the red zone, these people cannot get out.
No, so
So
then
what's
what we
really
had to do,
happening there?
we had to network with the police. Okay. And my student people reached out to me and they said, "Now, how do we help them? They're behind the red zone." I said, "Don't panic. Tweet to Mumbai police, ask them, say that this is the thing. What is the thing? How can they be helped?" So they tweeted. Yeah, they tweeted. Mumbai police said, "We are onto it, not a problem." So the students replied to me and they said, "Okay, Mumbai police is looking after them." I said, "Don't rest there. You keep calling the person who has asked you for help till he confirms that yes, he has received food." And I
Hmm.
remember this was at 6 o'clock in the evening. And by 8:30, the Mumbai police had reached in Dharavi, we were chasing, you know,
Hmm.
whom we were trying
Hmm.
to resolve and things like that. Let me also explain to people that I never had an NGO 5 years ago. I never wanted one. I never wanted one because you get bogged down with accounts and whatever and everything.
Right. Right.
So
It's a responsibility.
it's a responsibility. But I'm glad my son forced me to register my own NGO a year ago because it has lent
Yeah. And
structure
today,
to what I'm
see,
doing.
today it's just become
Exactly.
such a big medium for
Yeah.
people who are struggling.
Yeah. I mean, it's because I have the registration in place and because I have the bank account in place that probably, uh, I mean, I didn't expect Zomato to give me stuff worth so much, worth so many lakhs. I never expected this. It happened. And we are making
Hmm.
sure it reaches, the last mile connectivity is there for the kids that they've given us because it's a
Right.
responsibility. to this country.
Absolutely. So the NGO is just an official medium, but it's really your intent and the work that's going into
Yes.
it, right? So anyone can have an NGO, but eventually is the food grain reaching the kitchen of the person that needs it? That's a larger question, right?
Yes.
So we're having some interesting conversations with Cassandra. We're trying to figure out how is she sort of helping the people that are really stuck in this situation, also stuck in red zones, and that's a very scary situation. So Cassandra, if some of us want to help, we can reach out to you in many ways. What are some of the things we can do sitting at home? What is some work available for us? Like you said, सबके लिए कुछ ना कुछ काम है.
Yeah.
So what
So
is the
you
kind
can
of work?
either share my fundraisers. Somebody has made a fundraiser for me on Impact Guru. Okay. We have a fundraiser going on where you can transfer funds directly to our bank account or an InstaMojo link. Because some people are more comfortable with a link rather than a bank account. Because if you transfer money to the bank account, you need a PAN card. You have to give us your PAN card. Okay. So we've got different platforms through which you can pay. And we assure you that your money will be used properly. People were giving us cooked food, and in the early days we were paying 1,000 rupees tempo charges to transport the cooked 200 meals. Tempo charges $1,000. Okay,
just imagine, and that meal is gone, right? You've eaten it, it's finished. It's not something you can keep reusing.
Yeah, but if you do the math, if you do the math, 200 kits, food kits which we were getting free, I mean cooked meals, cost us $5 a plate to deliver to the villages. But it was eating into me that I'm wasting $1,000 because that $1,000 would have bought vegetables for more than 200 people. Correct?
Absolutely. Right.
I remember discussing this with Mahesh and Blazia, and Mahesh told me it's $5 because I'm very bad at maths. So I said, yeah, but Mahesh, $1,000 will buy us so many more vegetables. He's saying, yeah, that is the case. Then you know what I did? I reached out to somebody who lives in RE. I knew that guy has a vehicle business. I said, Chal, I'll pay petrol money. Okay, you send your vehicle and you pick up. So now I'm paying him $200 petrol money, and he's picking up 800 to 900 meals. So plus he's getting that his sort of employment or whatever and everything. My Barli people went to the police station and the BMC and got my tempo driver a pass.
Wow.
He was sitting, he's such a scaredy cat. He was sitting in his village and I'm calling him. I'll say, Yesu, I need you. Where are you? And he's telling me, but madam, I don't have a pass. And the police are not letting me come out. So I told my Warli women this. I said, if you want me to distribute grain, you go and help yourself, get this guy a pass. I'll pay his tempo charges, but I can't go and get him a pass. They went and they got him a pass.
Wow. So Cassie is always going to be very, very resourceful. And I think this resourceful side of you is just coming to light and help right now at this time. They say that God's always available to help people. And, the God or universe, whatever you want to call it, is always looking for mediums. And there, Cassie, you go. You've sort of become a medium in this crisis. And we need more mediums like you. So to the people that have been watching this Insta Live, for those of you who've been watching, who'll watch it later, I'm going to leave a link to this, also upload it on IGTV and kind of circulate it. Please reach out to Cassie. There's a genuine warrior sitting there trying to get people help as much as possible. Any other support that you need, Cassie? Anything that you'd like to share before we sort of close this lovely conversation?
I would like to share that I have the love of a beautiful team, small, who are literally day and night with me, literally. Poor Blazia, sometimes till 2 o'clock in the morning, she's uploading Google Sheets. And I was one who used to shy away from Google Docs. Yeah, I used to atrophy the moment I heard the word Google Sheets. But now, because of the students and the fact that we can't really meet one another, okay, I've learned how to work on the thing. So I would like to say thank you to the team, the unsung heroes on my watch, basically, who have my back. Okay, because if I just send the word saying, okay, this is what I want done, somebody or the other steps up. So I've always had, like, I remember we woke up one morning and Blazia told me, we've got 1,230 rupees in our account left. So I said, never mind, Blazia, something will come. Something will come. And these were early days when we had nothing. So slowly things have started coming. And whatever comes in, we make sure we push out. We don't hold the funds or anything because it's given to us to help a community or to help somebody. So we're doing whatever we can.
Brilliant. We definitely need more people like you to show up, step up. And like you've seen an example, you don't really have to have a large NGO with a
Nothing.
lot of people employed. You know, you can just be a group of people that come together, do a lot of good work. Cassie, definitely a big high
Thank
five to
you.
all the work that you, Mahesh Plazia, the students have been doing. I'm going to reach out to you to find some more warriors that I can interview here. The whole essence of this live is to tell people that we can do so much sitting at home. You know, there are people cribbing and cringing that I'm bored, I don't have enough to do, when will
Exactly.
the lockdown end? And there are people out there that need help. We can do a little bit, right? And if you don't know what to do, just reach out to her. She'll give you enough work.
You know, all my Wadli people gave me beneficiary lists in Marathi. Okay. And for Feeding India, I had to translate all those 2,500 names into English and put it
Right.
onto an Excel sheet. You know, that's a
That's
lot
work.
of work. That's work. My students stepped up. They networked. They did. And I remember there's this girl called Vishakha. Okay, she was coordinating with Rajini, who's my team, who's got vertigo and sitting at home. Okay, Rajini with vertigo is helping me upload things on, file my things so that, she's giving structure to what I do. So when I want pictures of a particular distribution to sort of send as a report, it's there. So she has been doing that. So then Rajini told me, Vishakha has been doing the translation on her phone because her laptop crashed. So I've
Yeah.
got people like this.
I can imagine. So it's just about the spirit. You know, you might
Yeah,
not have the resources, you might not be able to do a lot, but whatever you can do in your own capacity, बहुत कुछ है करने के लिए. You just need to find the intent to be able to do something,
yeah,
and that's what I'm
exactly.
taking away from this entire episode. This entire series is dedicated to people that are really showing up. We're celebrating human spirit, and like Cassie said, the real unsung heroes are the warriors that are facing the situation there. You know, some of us are really people that really need help. So a big salute to you, Cassie, and your entire team, the Nazareth Foundation, and everyone that's collaborating with you.
Thank
And to
you.
everyone watching this, if you know a COVID warrior, Corona warrior, please do send me a link. Please do reach out to me. If you can contribute in any way, please reach out to Cassie. I'm going to leave her Insta handle here with us. Thank you so much, Cassie, for joining us here on Insta Live.
Thank you, Almas. My pleasure always. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Stay happy,
Bye.
stay safe, and keep doing the great work that you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye.